Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you here by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the Chief of Serial and Sigilite of the FLG, Nicky Dee, flannel fan sometimes, and producer extraordinaire, and I'm Seth, the Mad Dok, your competitive correspondent, and abnormally large head man today. How's everyone been doing?
We got to scale him down a little bit.
No, I like my power.
Guys, I have a child. I have a newborn. I've been changing a lot of diapers. I hope that's not spit up on my shirt. If it is, please, I apologize.
No, it's probably just your like, what is it, cayenne pepper lemon water?
Oh my gosh, no, it is not. It is not cayenne pepper lemon water. Although, side note, people, Trader Joe's has pumpkin O's. All right, this is a pumpkin-based cereal, and there's a lot of pumpkin cereals out there that are pumpkin spice but don't actually have pumpkin. Trader Joe's pumpkin O's has real pumpkin in it. They are glorious. They've been gone for 2 years. They just brought them back. I know this is a crazy tangent, but it's important that you know about this. Nicky Dee, have you had pumpkin O's from Trader Joe's ever before? They're glorious.
Yeah, very much so. My wife and my dog love them, so they are a frequent product in our house this time of year.
Family.
I'm a fan. I got nothing negative to say on this.
Oh, I love it. All right, guys, if you are listening to our show, please consider watching us live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you get to be part of chat and you get to see the cool visual elements like my hobby progress. Take it away there. Look at that. You see what that is, Seth?
Yeah,
Seth,
that is some vibrant colors, Kicker.
Yeah,
this new kid has just turned over a new leaf with you, man. I'm very proud.
Seth, do you mind describing? Yes, I'm totally milking this opportunity. Do you mind describing my beautifully painted miniatures to those that are listening to a podcast?
So it is a Seraphon. It's the new Raptor Riders. I can't remember their name.
The Raptidons.
Raptidons with kind of like a pale blue with more bright blue and dark blue crests, and then obviously the green riders. So it really pops. I really like it. I'm very proud of you, bud.
I'm trying to please you. That's all I'm doing here. Just trying.
That's important, really.
So yeah, I have, despite changing diapers constantly, I have also been trying to get some painting done. So I'm very happy with my Age of Sigmar army. Seth, though, I know that you've decided to stick true to 40K and to Orc.
Yeah, unlike a former producer of this show that promised to play World Eaters for a year if I played Orcs for a year, I am sticking to my promise that I made to you, the audience, and playing Orcs for 1 year. So I did take Orcs to an RTT this weekend. I did not perform well. I went 1 and 2 with that list.
Okay.
But I did get I have a new member of my coaching team, Anthony Vanella. I did immediately reach out to Anthony and be like, we need to find a different list for me. And we did. So, and I've already even got 2 games with the list. So I've been on the grind. So, been having some fun with that. I have been playing a fair amount of Starfield as well. I do like my space exploring fun. So I've been enjoying that. But Nicky Dee, what have you been up to? Right as you take your sip.
Seth, you said you were doing a full year of Orcs. I just completed a full year of playing Chaos Demons. I completed my year of service to Chaos Demons. So I am making a change to my faction, and it's a faction that's going to be having a codex. We know coming out soon-ish. We know Space Marines is next on the list, but after Space Marines comes Necrons and Admech. So I'm working on Necrons. I'm painting up my Annihilation Barge that you can see there if you're watching the show. So that is what I'm going to be playing for a little while, or at least painting. Maybe not playing. I with the data slate, which we'll get to that. We'll cover that part.
Nice segue, though. We'll start talking right now about the balanced data slate. In our industry news, this was the big stuff that happened last week, was this giant balanced data slate from GW for 40K. Mm-hmm. It was both points and some rules updates. Seth, do you want to give us, everyone's already talked about this. We do not need to go into the weeds, but let's get like the overarching, positive, negative vibes, any critical changes, what do you think?
Yeah, I went through. I did a video for everyone, kind of doing the big brushstrokes. You can always go back and check that on our channel. I think to me the 2 most like impactful changes that I have felt is the change to devastating wounds and the change to line of sight with towering models. Yeah. Those 2 things have drastically kind of shaken up the game, in my opinion.
For the better or worse?
For the better. I think the towering line of sight, just the fact that they can't see you from their deployment zone to your deployment zone, gives you the non-towering player, which is my experience. I'm not playing anything with towering. It gives you a chance to hide, and it gives you a chance to play the game. And then devastating wounds, still useful. I've played a few, I guess 6 games now with the data slate. So it still comes up. It's still useful, but it's useful in the scenario where, I have a 2 damage weapon going into really good armor save 2 wound guys. Okay, dev wounds is still useful there, versus having a damage D6 plus 2 weapon with dev wounds in that scenario. Not useful anymore. Yeah. So it helps delineate those anti-tank from those more anti-infantry profiles. So I've enjoyed that delineation. So I think that's been a good change there.
Cool. So with this balanced data slate, we've also got a brand new app. Well, not a new app, but an upgrade to the app. Update. You do have to pay to get some of the features. The most important feature is the Battle Forge feature. That's the list building software. You do get to build, I believe, 1 list per army, if I'm correct. Yeah. But to get the full function, you got to get the subscription. It's worth it. I know some people don't want the paywall, but guys, this hobby, you got to put a few dollars in there. They're creating these rules for us, right? I know the models are expensive, but a lot of people are 3D printing and whatnot. I'm okay personally having the rules. I wish all the codexes were just built in there. You didn't have to buy codexes separately. Or whatever, but
that would be nice if there was
anything key. I mean, they did update the rules in the app, which is kind of cool, right? Immediately, the balance status live. Yeah, I mean that's huge, right?
They updated that. They updated the points. I do enjoy that because originally they had said that they were going to go to you can't write any lists if you weren't subscribed.
Yeah.
This has kept everyone still is able to write at least 1 list, which I think is useful, particularly if there's events that are not that we at FLG are, but if other events are maybe requiring that as the list submission format.
Yeah.
It's nice that there's not a paywall to submit that. And then if you do find that you are using it a bunch and you enjoy it, then I think it's useful. Now,
can you just talk about that free mini? You do get a free mini for signing up.
So that's the thing. You do. Yeah. It's not just the app that you're getting access. You're getting all of Warhammer Plus, which includes Pariah Nexus, the new mini, a bunch of their painting tutorials, a bunch of other videos. So I think it's worth it. I mean, the $60 alone, Dean points out, is worth it for the limited edition mini. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been a Warhammer Plus subscriber since day one. I will continue to be. I find the app fairly useful. I find it more useful than some of the other third-party apps.
And guys, let's look at this. The app has only been getting better, right? Yeah. Like it started off, let's just be honest, not the best note, but I mean, it's only been getting better and better and better with time. Nicky Dee, have you watched any of the content on Warhammer Plus? You're kind of our geek guru here. I know it's not Ashoka, but I know it's not. I screwed that up. Ahsoka, right? Ashoka. Yeah. I know it's not something like Disney Plus, but there's some good content on there, right?
There is. I've really enjoyed a lot of the shows, especially some of the longer series. The Tau series was too short. There was an Iron Warrior show. It was just one episode that was about 20 minutes, and the animation was not really that great.
Okay.
But the Blood Angels Gene Stealer Cult show, I really enjoyed that. And there's been, I know that the Pariah one, I'm looking forward to this. The other thing that I actually like is some of the Lore Masters videos, especially I travel for work a lot. So like being able to download and watch or listen to these 30-minute videos about, Mortarion, I know I play Mortarion. But
do I know
Mortarion? Yeah, so like that sort of thing.
Why is he so stinky?
Why does he hate why does he have so many daddy issues, right? And like all those parts. So I have to say, I do actually like a lot of the videos that's out there. It's pretty good content.
Please tell me they have a lore master that is titled "Why Does Mortarion Have Daddy Issues?" If they don't, Warhammer Plus team, don't you worry about it. You just give Nicky and I the green light, and we will produce that video for you.
Content. Cool. Well, I because I just got the subscription now, so I've been using the I've been playing around with it. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff on there. The painting videos are kind of what I want to check out. Me trying to level up my paint skills. Hey, GW pre-orders this weekend. You're going to be able to get Dawnbringer's Book 2. This is Reign of the Brute. This has got the new troll boss. His name is, I cannot remember. Trug. That's it. Trug.
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 Very, very very deep name.
Yeah, Trug, right? I mean, he's like,
I am Trug.
That'd be a good name for like a big dog, like a greyhound or something, Great Dane, or a Saint Bernard. But Trug. So
I
Trug,
think you need a Saint Bernard now kicker.
I need a Saint Bernard, right? Yeah, I have a very strict rule in my family. I will not have a dog that is bigger than myself. I once, in another life, I did have a Great Dane. The dog weighed more than me. He was definitely the alpha in the dynamic. I was like, okay, whatever you want, dog. So I am, I don't know, sticking to smaller, lightweight dogs now. But so we got this Trug dude. He's coming with a box set of a bunch of trolls as well. It's kind of a new way to build an army. You got basically an all troll army. You've also got this new Rabble Rouser Garrote that I want to find a way to use him as like a Garrote. Maybe use him as a runt herd, right, Seth? Could you use him as a runt herd in 40K?
Sure.
He looks fun. And then you got the Iron Jaws. These are the giant orcs with all the armor, and
they look so good.
Yeah. Okay, Seth, have you thought about converting him for anything yet? Has there been?
I have, yeah. I mean, as soon as they previewed him, my orc chat exploded with, "Hey man, so we got a bunch of new models, so they look really cool."
What do you think about the giant pig, the giant warhog that they're riding? Like, is there a use for that? I mean, could that be a kill rig?
No, that's just going to be a giant pig for whenever I decide to play AOS is what that's going to be.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I do know some folks that have looked into like using that as the squig as towing the kill rig, or modifying that to be a beast boss on maybe like a squigosaur, or a beast boss on a pigosaur.
There we go. Boom. Perfect. Love that. Love it. Love it. In not GW news, but really important FLG news. Check out this decal. I got a personal order for some miniatures, and we're now throwing decals in all the box orders. Maybe not all of them, but at least I know the warehouse is starting to put fancy stickers. So yeah, you order from us, you get a cool sticker, as well as our love and appreciation. So can't go wrong with that. Seth, by the way, we got to figure out if we get stickers for LVO. We need to get some Signal stickers for LVO. Yep. We got to do that.
We'll work on that. I'm
going to be paging Nicky Dee right now. Take it away with some nerd news. What's going on in that whole universe? Here he comes. We need an update.
There we go. Okay, buttons I got to hit. Kicker, Seth. Have you guys been watching Star Wars Ahsoka?
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Okay.
But I have been watching it. I know the audience in general has been watching it. Seth, you don't like Star Wars because you're communist or something. I'm not sure. But you're not watching Star Wars, and you could care less. But we can't say spoilers because we can't do that to people. But Seth and I and probably your audience would like to get your overarching. Are we happy? Are we sad? Where are we at this point with the content?
Liking it. Yeah, liking it. The big thing that I've been sharing with my friends and family that are Star Wars fans is that if you have watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon series, this show makes a lot more sense. Some of the context for the characters, if you don't know those parts, it doesn't hit in quite the same way. Dean in chat is saying no spoilers, especially as it relates to this week's episode 5. Episode 5 is amazing, especially if you are a fan of Star Wars, the Clone Wars TV series. There's a lot of callbacks to that. So it is a great series. I've really enjoyed. I think I said this after viewing after the first 2 episodes. Fight choreography, great. Special effects, great. Kicker, you had asked me about the sound and music that goes to it. Not quite as iconic as like Mandalorian and some of the other stuff that's there, but overall, I've been very, very pleased with Star Wars Ahsoka. So I would venture for others to check it out and to start watching it as well.
Sweet. I'm glad, it's 5 episodes in. It seems like you're still happy. So it's not one of those flops, start off strong and then just die down. So sweet. Side note, kind of different conversation here, but the new iPhone 15, I know this kind of falls within our realm. It's not wargaming. It's not pop culture, but a lot of people have iPhones. That's what they use to, write their list. All right, whatever. Anyway, I just thought this was interesting and I wanted to share. The Apple's switching out their lightning cable for a USB-C. Discuss amongst yourselves. I think that's kind of cool. I'm happy to not have to.
Well, they don't have a choice.
Oh, they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Seth, you know more about this than
I can't remember if it's a UK or a EU law, but there is a law on the books that all small and medium-sized electronics need to use the same charging cable to reduce electronic waste.
No way. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Look at that investigator reporter here, or somebody that just reads more news than the headlines like myself. News. So well done, Seth. Okay, very cool. Did you guys hear about The Creator? This new, I think it's a movie, maybe it's a series, The Creator. Have you guys heard about it?
Yeah.
Are you intrigued at all? I'm intrigued.
Where they put the AI robots in the charger stands?
Yes, you heard about this, the PR stunt. Oh my gosh. Seth, why don't you explain what happened there? Because I think that was hilarious.
They had I think it's a movie. I can't remember if it's a movie or TV show, the creator, but they basically have like humans that like their face looks like normal, but the back of their head is like a machine.
Yeah.
And so they had a number of those in the stands at a football game to kind of, do some guerrilla marketing, if you will.
Genius. I love it, man. I love that stuff. So the creator, I don't know if you're in chat, tell us if you're excited or not. We're gonna hop into over into some event news. SoCal is steadily growing, and with that comes my plea. We're only about a month away. Here comes my plea. We need help setting up, please. Anyone?
Kicker always needs help, folks.
Well, SoCal's unique that if you've been there, it's a very large, giant, massive hangar, for lack of a better word. It's this large hall. We do space out all the tables, so all the tables are like little floating islands. You've got a lot of elbow room, but that just means that we need more help because it's a lot of walking back and forth. Besides SoCal, let's talk about LVO. We're still adding people to the club pass. We want to get more international people. I know that we've got a lot of American teams and clubs for all different game systems signed up, but we'd love to get some more New Zealand, Australians, Europeans. Let's get them in there too. So get the club pass. It gives you all sorts of perks. Hit us up on the Frontline Gaming Community Facebook group if you got questions. Shoot us an email.
We're happy to chat.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool setup. And we've got this new vendor area. So if you, your mom, your great grandmother has some sort of little, home garage business and would like to present showcase themselves at LVO, we've got this new vendor area that is ideal for you. We've got a guy.
Does it have to be a mom or a grandma? Could it just be like a nerd that wants to come?
It could be a nerd that has a really cool 3D printing side hustle thing. And word is that we're going to be adding more Age of Sigmar tickets soon. I've been getting daily, requests from people begging for Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar has already outgrown where we were last year, and we're working to keep it growing. So this will be really exciting for us. And finally, guys, yes, the 2024 schedule, we are working on it. We've got Cherokee already locked in place. We've got Rocky Mountain Open locked in place, and ACO. There's all confirmed contracts. All the other ones are basically locked in, but it's kind of like 2 or 3 weekends that we're choosing between. We want to have a full, complete schedule that we will then share with you guys probably in the beginning of November, late October. So there we go. Oh, Seth, time for our signal short.
Yes. Are you boys ready?
Yes, always ready.
The question this week for our signal short is, what is your favorite movie that prominently features bugs?
Nicky Dee, do you have one that you got one?
I got an obvious one that I'm not going to pick.
All right.
And the premise for this question is I've seen a lot of people painting Tyranids.
Yeah.
Lately, right? New codex. So there's an obvious space bugs answer that to go with here. But what I'm going to say is a different, perhaps obvious space bug, Men in Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Right?
That's good.
The whole plot. First one is the bug alien.
Sugar, water. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So to me, Men in Black, I'm a huge Will Smith fan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Scandal slapping noted for Will Smith as related, but like I love.
Still like a good movie.
Especially as a kid in the '90s, I love Men in Black.
Where do you stand on Wild Wild West?
Yes.
Oh,
my God.
I loved it. I loved it. Like but it's one of those like it's so bad.
No, I legitimately have the theme song for that on one of my playlists. Like it's legit. Like, but my son loves listening to the Wild Wild West theme song when we're driving to school.
Kicker, bug movies.
Okay, obviously Starship Troopers was my natural first choice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this counts. Tremors is definitely pretty good, but that's more of a worm than a bug. So I don't know if that counts, and that's kind of old. I did watch A Bug's Life. Yes, it's a Disney movie. Remember, guys, I do have a toddler, but A Bug's Life is pretty freaking funny. Like, they have some good jokes in there, and the little Hungarian
pill bugs are beautiful butterfly.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Right. And like the Hungarian doodle bugs or pill bugs or whatever you call them, they're just so freaking funny. So yes, I know I'm the G-rated host here, I guess, but I just I don't know. Bug's Life is good. It's good. Okay, Seth, you clearly have had more time since this was your question.
Yeah. Well, you sort of took part of mine, but the clear answer is Tremors 2.
Oh, Tremors 2. Tremors 2. Wow.
Yeah, because that's where you get the little running ones on the ground, and those are Hormigons. Clearly,
yes.
Clearly, those are Hormigons.
Yes,
it is Tremors 2.
Tremors 2,
which, by the way, is my favorite Tremors movie. So sorry.
We need a remake. I mean, we've got like all these old movies coming back. We need a
remake of Tremors.
Yeah.
Except we still need Kevin Bacon in it.
What's going on in chat? What do we have? Some Nicky Dee?
The B movie? No, Alex, get out.
We have multiple folks saying the B movie, so we have to. I don't agree with that, but that's what chat is saying. And then Dorian
Arachnophobia
asked the question: is it bugs, insects, do arachnids count for this answer? We'll see.
Sure.
Yes, so arachnophobia counts for that as well.
Yeah.
Another one that I would put out there as a what's the word I'm looking for? But a runner-up, The Fly.
Oh yeah.
Old horror film. Another great insect bug related film. So that would be another one that I would throw up there. But yeah, I think that's it. So kicker, Seth, do you guys want to take us to our main segment for tonight?
Seth, start us off, man.
All right. So this week, now that everyone's had their chance to get their hands on it and take a look at it, we're going to break down the Tyranid Codex, but from the view of this being our first 10th edition codex and what that codex format is like.
Yeah, this codex is setting the precedent for the entire edition.
Yeah, this is kind of what we should be all in our minds expecting going forward. So a lot of things in these codexes are going to be real similar to what you have seen in terms of formatting in the past. There's a large lore section. There's a model showcase. There's painting guides. All of that is real good stuff. All of that is great stuff that I've used in my orc codexes in the past. And I'm going to view everything through the lens of orcs codexes.
And those are the things that are timeless, right? Even if the edition changes or you don't even care about playing that army, it's always cool to go reference that painting guide because you might want to paint something like that on a completely different army or hey, that lore is just fun bathroom reading, you know? So
or this might be sacrilegious to some, but as the editions move on and codexes become outdated and no longer, super needed in terms of their day-to-day use, I like to cut some of the full art pages out and put those up as art on the walls.
Okay, my buddy takes all the covers and they're in his hobby room. They're like a mural along his wall. I'm like, that's kind of a cool idea, So I like it. Can we just? I just got to touch on this, Seth. What is the oldest codex that you currently own that you can go somewhere in your house right now and pull and show me right now? Like, what is your oldest
Third
codex?
edition.
Third edition.
Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines.
Damn, dude. All right, Nicky Dee, what about you? Oldest codex you have in your possession that you can easily pull from your shelf?
It is it's technically, I guess it is a codex, but it is, I think, 4th edition Skaven Warhammer Fantasy.
Nice, well done.
I grew up playing Warhammer Fantasy, so for 40k, it's 7th edition Blood Angels. I'm fairly new when it comes to 40k, but 4th edition Skaven for Fantasy.
Okay, you guys beat me because I've been throwing out a lot of my old books recently, but I do have one of the old Guard codexes. I'm pretty proud, but I think it's not nearly as old as you guys.
But particularly if you're downsizing your collection, this is a tangent. I think saving some things like covers or some of those old full art pages is it's an easy thing to put up on the wall. It's an easy thing to make a mural out of, and then it doesn't take up a lot of space because I do have a lot of space filled up with old books. But anyway, the other things in this codex that are kind of familiar returning sections, crusade rules. Dean does point out that they have put the crusade in the back of the book finally. It used to be like in the middle, like there was one section of army rules, crusade rules, and then more army rules, and you're like, I don't need those for my tournament. You're literally in the middle of the information I'm trying to reference. Can we put that somewhere else? Because guys, I know lots of guys that enjoy crusade and have a good time with it. It's just like, but
just put it in the back.
Don't put it in that spot.
That's a good deal.
They have added a section for combat patrol rules. So there are the indexes for combat patrols, but those are also being updated and reprinted in the actual codex. You'll have your combat patrol there, which is really nice. But the meat and potatoes of this is the army rules. Now, this is where things change. We have the army-wide rule, and this is, again, similar to what you've seen in the index PDFs. What we're getting in these codexes, at least in this Tyranid one, was 6 individual detachments. Think of it, people talked about there being sub-factions in 9th edition or 8th edition. This is not truly a sub-faction. Any version of NIDS can play them, but they in effect are some form of subfaction. So if you go back and you remember, I like to play Kraken Nids. I liked really fast moving stuff. There is a detachment for that. That is the Vanguard detachment. So there are very similar tropes that you can see when you think of how those armies played or what the lore behind those armies. There is a detachment themed around that, so it gives you some distinct styles of play. It also, each individual detachment has its own set of 4 enhancements and its own set of 6 stratagems.
Yeah,
that does mean that there are, technically speaking, 36 stratagems in this book,
but you only can play 6.
Correct. Exactly. And so as an opponent, if I'm playing you, you can open the book and say, these are the 6 I can use. And then I can go, okay, I only have to worry about these 6 plus the core. So they've stuck to that strategy, which I really like. The stratagems, for the most part, all do seem to give a bit of flavor that fit in the same flavor as the detachment rule. So again, there's a theme there. So if you're trying to build a more narrative or fluffy army, there's a lot of room there to express that there. The data sheets themselves are also all printed, and there are some new data sheets for this codex that weren't in the index phase because there were new models released and things like the Neurolictor. And there were some updates to some of the data sheets. Now, to my understanding, they have, for the most part, kept a lot of the data sheets the same from the index phase, but there have been a few tweaks and updates. Importantly, those data sheets, there is no limitations about what data sheets can go in what detachments. So in the past, I'm going to take a step out of Nidland and go back to Orkland. Snickrot was a Blood Axe. You can only take him in a Blood Axe detachment. So if the Nids datasheet rules and their detachment rules carry over into some of those other armies, it could be possible that we have detachment rules that any sub-faction character can be in any one of those types of detachments. So that's interesting. I like that because a lot of people build an army and paint an army based on a certain sub-faction lore. They've always liked it. They've collected that. But then they want to play a specific rule set that maybe doesn't match that lore. And then we get this kind of this disconnect. And it's always been a clash. You know, people talking about, go back to 8th edition and people playing Blue Marines, Ultramarines as Iron Hands. That was like a big hot button debate. You know, this type of setup where the detachment rules are agnostic to whatever your color theming and character design is for your army. I think that's really cool to see, allowing those two things to mesh without causing a lot of conflict. Yeah. So that's really cool. There is a QR code in the codex, just like previous edition, where you can unlock the full set of rules in your code or in your app if you have the app. And again, you'll have to be a subscriber. There are points printed in the codex, but there is also a QR code in the codex that takes you to the page of the most updated points on the website. So I do enjoy that they are doing those little QR codes, because that has certainly been a thing that we have seen edition after edition as armies come out and things get adjusted. A lot of things in the codexes, because they're print, don't get updated, and it's only updated online. And a newer player might be a bit confused as to where to find that information. So providing that in the form of something like a QR code that's really easy to go from the book in front of me to my phone to the website, and I can get that information.
And it's clear that the app is going to be the primary means of getting the most updated rules. The app is going to have the current points. Even if the codex drops 1 week, a week later, the points in the app are the primary means of building your list. So use those points in the app. But it is cool. They say, you know, on the codex, like, hey, you know, go to the app, you know, go online to see the full apps.
Yeah. So babies, you know, we all dream of a day where it's a full online rule set. But we do have to reward positive behavior on GW's part. So we do have to call out when they are doing things like this that we appreciate as a community. So I enjoy that.
So we do have a few things in chat, but before we jump to chat, Seth, let's just break this down, right? So we don't have access to the new Orc Codex or the new Guard Codex, but we can take what we know from this NID Codex and kind of decipher the future, right?
And kind of apply to what we think it's going to be like for our armies.
So most armies, we have to assume, are going to be getting obviously things like lore and the painting guide, right? But they're going to get let's just call it 6 detachments or 6 subcultures or factions.
I mean, I don't know. There were some weird codexes in the past, and that by weird I mean like Drukhari, where they didn't get 6 sub-factions for each of their sub-factions. Because remember, Drukhari was like,
weird,
I think it was like 3 Cabal, 3 Homunculi, and 3 Witch Covens.
Yeah. But the point is that we're going to be getting more flavor back, right?
Yeah, a lot of the kind of standard, like, Guard, Orcs, Nids, Sisters, Knights, a lot of those had 6 sub-factions as their
base. It might not be called the Blood Axe, whatever, or it might not be called the Death Corps Acadian faction, but it'll probably play like you would assume it would play.
Yeah,
so that is good, man. That's good. I got, I was scared we might have been losing that,
Yeah. So I really appreciate seeing that, because it does put that flavor back into it. It's not just like now if I roll, Dean, he's in chat, is a big Nid player. If I index phase, if I roll up to the table, I know there's one detachment that the Nids can be playing. They're all going to play the same. Now there's several different versions of Nid armies that can be played. So I enjoy that it provides some variety.
And they're pretty, like what you're talking about, provides variety. It's pretty significant. Like, yes, it's still the same data sheets, but they can be played very differently based off only 6 strats and the army, the detachment rule. So, so it is a pretty cool system they have here. It's the same kind of base they're all working off of, but those little different changes allow you to really play differently. It also looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Seth, but it looks like the data sheets are pretty similar to what's in the index. So I can't say that this is going to be how it's going to be for every codex. And we were actually talking before going live that they might actually change with time. But at least for right now, it looks like, what's you're playing right now is probably very similar to how that unit will play once you have that codex.
Yeah. Yeah. We did talk about, like, right now, there wasn't a major, like, earth-shattering changes to how the previous NID index data sheets as compared to the codex data sheets, the ones that were the same, like the model existed in both of those versions. We don't know we were talking about it going down the line. We have a roadmap for the next year, but 2-3 years from now, does that roadmap, is there enough time that they've said, hey, you know what? I have no information, internet people. I have no more information than anyone else about this. So don't say I said so and I'm law. But, like, sake of argument, let's say World Eaters, they were the last of this edition. Sucks to suck, World Eaters, you're last of this of 10th edition. By the time we get to the 10th edition World Eaters Codex, has been 2 or 3 years. Is that enough time for GW to have taken a look through everything and said, you know what, this army didn't play in the way that we wanted it to, and so maybe that later in the life cycle of this edition, we will see more drastic changes to data sheets for armies that have had indexed data sheets for 2 or 3 years. So we certainly is a possibility, and they have left themselves, the way they have designed this codex, they have left themselves the room to do that by reprinting all of the data sheets.
Yeah. Well done. A few things in chat. Dorian's saying, hey, Nids are looking super, not super strong, but they're looking pretty solid and well balanced across most of the detachments and units. Yeah, it looks like Nids are pretty balanced. We always talk about this concept, codex creep, an army that has the codex is going to just destroy everyone else. It looks like they're not just going to go and stomp everyone. Now, that's just, what, we've had a week. We need more time. We haven't even had a week yet, right? But it looks like it will be... it looks like it's balanced, for lack of a better. It looks like it's fair. Nothing too crazily overpowered. Seth, do you see anything that just terrifies you?
So no, nothing. I mean, I don't like Norn emissaries. That's just a discussion. I certainly think that the what we have seen from this codex, it is not head and shoulders above where the Nids were prior to this. So it wasn't a huge power jump for them. Now, when you say codex creep, there is certainly the possibility that maybe this is the beginning, and then future codexes on the line might be stronger, and then we might see some creep, and that is certainly something to keep an eye out for. But if we get a few more codexes under our proverbial belts this year and next year, and we're seeing kind of similar adding army variety but not a lot of army strength, I think then I think we're in a solid spot.
Cool. We got a question from Alex in chat. He's asking, is the new 40K format, in his words, too simplified? They did want to simplify it. Seth, your thoughts? Is it too simplified? Do you feel like our game got, dumbed down a little bit too much?
I had a game against Votan last night.
Okay.
I don't feel that it is more simplified.
All right.
The thing that I have come across with this edition of 40K that, at least for me, has been a learning curve, is you have an army-wide rule, you have a detachment rule, you have enhancements, which are similar to war, like, relics, and you have stratagems. But on top of that, there is now every individual data sheet and every individual codex has its own special rule.
Yeah,
that's a lot to keep in your mind. I've been playing orcs, and that's it since 10th edition rules came out for them, and there are still rules on my own data sheets that I am missing on a frequent basis, like trucks healing a wound at the start of each turn. I never remember that. So so I say, I played Votan last night. Were some interactions that my opponent was a very good opponent and clearly explained everything to me in the beginning, but it was just too much information to remember that I was like, oh, and then when we were in the game, it would come up again. And I was like, oh, right, you did tell me that, but I forgot. So that is certainly something that I don't think it's too simplified. There are certainly things that keep this game complicated. So, and I know a lot of us like that crunchy, complicated stuff. So I don't think you have too much to worry about, Alex, particularly as right now we've got one faction that's got its 6 attachments. But we start getting a year or two into this, and you've got a dozen factions that all have 6 different attachments. It's gonna be a lot. So anyway, Kicker. Yeah. Take us into the community poll for this week. Yeah. What's on the mind of Kicker?
So every week we try to ask a question on Facebook, primarily through the Frontline Gaming community Facebook group. We put a poll out there. This helps determine the future of 40K, or at least as much as we can. And this week, we're looking at adding another event for 2024, and we wanted to know: do we do this other event in Las Vegas, our home base, where our warehouse is? Easy to fly to. A pretty cool tourist area, or do we do it in another West Coast location? We're trying to stay on the West Coast because logistically it's challenging for us to bring our terrain all the way to the East Coast. Not that we don't do that already for Atlantic City and Cherokee, but it is way more challenging for us to expand out east. The poll results, wow, 77% said outside of Las Vegas. They don't necessarily want to go to Las Vegas twice a year for LVO and this new event. So we did do the Las Vegas team event, which was in September, and we did Vegas, LVO in January. It's an option, but it seems like most people would rather go to a different city if they're going to go to 2 Frontline Gaming events during the year. So okay, wow, 77% said outside of Las Vegas. We've got a lot of comments, and they were really I've read them all, and I am tired of reading comments, but they were really insightful. Timothy Dardar, Robert Moreland, and many others say New Orleans, and I do live in New Orleans. I'm slightly biased towards it. But they really like the one New Orleans event we did back in 2020.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. So yeah, you were there.
I enjoyed myself.
New Orleans is a fun town. It's a challenge to do an event in New Orleans for so many reasons, and that's not on the West Coast, by the way. But it seems like a lot of people in the community want that. Aaron and many others had mentioned Utah as well. Utah's a fun place. There's a pretty vibrant community in Utah. Seth, did you read any of the other comments? I know there's some other comments.
No, but I will point out that my beloved orc overlord, Rich Kilton, is in Utah. So
Utah has a huge community, and it's relatively centrally located. There's a great airport there, so that's something that okay, well, that's interesting. Bob Kelly and a bunch of other people said the Pacific Northwest. There is the GW event there, and Tacoma, I need to talk to them and make sure we don't step on their toes. That's kind of always the thing, is if they're taking over, if they're doing Tacoma, we don't want to.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Tacoma was the first time they did the same city twice.
Yeah. And they get Kansas and Tacoma, right? Kansas.
I think Kansas, yes, but I think Tacoma was the first one that they were like.
Yeah, we're doing and it grew, and people liked it, and I'm pretty sure that. Well, I don't want to speak for GW, so I'm going to be quiet. But the point is, we don't want to step on anyone's toes. Countless people are saying Boston, or at least somewhere in New England. That is really far away from Nevada, where our warehouse is. But Boston is an amazing city. I would love to do it. It's just, once again, logistically, getting our terrain all the way across the country for more and more events just makes it really challenging. It looks like we got another comment there. Nicky Dee, do you want to read that guy's comment? Or Seth? There we go.
Okay, there we go. I was working on another screen here. Lucas, who Seth, I believe this is Lucas, another
Lucas
famous
Troll,
orc player.
another famous orc player. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's these West Coast orc players. Kicker, I don't know if we should keep. They just want more events to win, FLG events to win on the West Coast. Lucas pointed out Portland,
Our
Oregon,
goal
as
internally amongst the orc players is what if every FLG logo was orc based?
Oh my gosh, jeez, you got to win it. Oh my god, no.
Yes,
maybe.
But Lucas points out Portland, Oregon, cheap. It's West Coast. I will point out Portland, Oregon is very flannel forward. So if I have a vote, and I love Portland as well, so I'm certainly in favor of it.
I do want to share my comment that I put internally.
Okay, yeah. He submitted directly to
Kicker. Yeah. He said West Coast. I said, technically speaking, Alaska is on the West Coast, and I need an excuse to go back. So I personally think we should figure out a way to truck everything up to Alaska. Have a nice. I mean, Kicker. You can't tell me you, Kicker, outdoor man, don't want to go to Alaska.
No, I mean I would love it. I would love it. We need to have
their flannel positive there as well, Nicky Dee.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
Isn't there an FLG affiliate that lives in Alaska? We can just ship everything to his house and he can take care of it for us, right?
Grim After Dark.
Yes, yeah, Grim After Dark. By the way, we're shipping all the terrain to your house, guys. Keep an eye on it for a bit.
Just have a couple containers show up in his driveway. So guys, we are on the hunt. This feedback was extremely appreciated. So thank you guys, and stay tuned as I can start to make some phone calls and see what's feasible for 2024.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the Frontline Entertainment news, Seth. What's going on there?
Yeah. So a few folks that I kind of want to give some shout outs to this week. A while back, we had an affiliate that Crash Course Hobbies that I was really enjoying. He puts out a really kind of mellow, low key, super positive hobby vibe. He's all about trying to bring newer people into the hobby. He went silent for 4 months. But that's because he was moving and getting his kids resituated and then resetting up his studio, because he does have very good production quality. So he literally posted a video this week and I reached out to him and he's back. He's putting out more content. You'll enjoy this. It was a hybrid video of how to paint Dante, but also how to push yourself and take risks as a painter.
I like it.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. So go check them out. Go give them some love over at Crash Course. Our lovely friends over at Party at All Points introduced a new feature to their podcast. That is the belch counter.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. I know, Kicker. That's right up your alley.
Oh, my alley. I love it. I love it.
So I think all of the Party at All Points guys need to just, really bring Kicker into that culture when you see him at LVO.
It's gonna become a thing at LVO, right? Yeah.
Yep. And then our lovely friend, our beloved streamer Joe from War Games Live is actually live right now. Kicker.
Oh, jeez.
It's Wednesday. You're like, what's he doing live, right?
Yeah.
He's kicking off Charity Hammer, which gets us into our community spotlight. Charity Hammer is put on by our friends up in the Pacific Northwest. That's the Best in Tabletop group. They're going to be running 3 live streams that at one form or another, one of these is going to be running at all times, starting Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, running for 72 hours straight.
Jeez.
72 hours, Kicker. Of 40K. You could literally, anytime that baby wakes you up, and you got to rock her back to sleep, and you're like, I'm bored, man. You could pull up your phone, you could watch you some 40K.
I love it.
Anytime. So War Games Live is there. He's streaming on YouTube. Joe's on YouTube. The Best in Tabletop guys are streaming on their YouTube channel, and then they also have a Twitch channel. It's still called Biff Pod from their former name. But this is a charity stream. They're raising money for Child's Play, which is a charity to support children's hospitals, to provide them toys and games for the kids in the children's hospitals. 2 years ago, we set a goal of $40,000, which we passed, and we raised $40,000 of 40K in 3 days. So their goal this year is 40,001. They want to beat the previous goal.
Respect that.
You can donate via their link. It's all upfront and appropriate charitable organizations. It's every $30 you donate gets you a raffle ticket. So it's a great group. Go support them. I know I'm going to have it on throughout the weekend. I might have had it on before I got on here tonight. But yeah, so go check them out. We also have the Hammer Down Breast Cancer. That's coming up in October. The event is in Delaware. It is through our friends on the northeast side of the United States, the Legion of Extraordinary Gentlemen. my former club. So go check those guys out. Always a good group. I think that's it for my community spotlight stuff this week.
Good.
Final thoughts for the night, guys.
Brace yourself, Seth. Brace yourself, Nicky Dee. Chat. I am playing orcs, not playing against orcs. I am playing my orc army. Yes. Tomorrow I have a game. I've got a plan with one of my good buddies.
He's back.
Yeah,
He's back, baby.
I have a
painting all of those Seraphon got you back into the green mode. Oh man, that was a good decision.
I have a beautifully painted orc army that I spent way too much time painting, and it's squig heavy. And I apparently, after talking to you, Seth, you're like, squigs are good right now. I could run all my squigs, all my cavalry. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So wish me luck, people. So I am stoked. In between diaper changing and taking care of my newborn, I will be rolling dice with my buddy, charging my squig hogs into his, I think, Black Templar. So it should be fun. What about you, Nicky Dee? What's going on with you?
Watching lots of football. There's a lot of us that are nerds that are also football fans. But watching football also allows me to have some time to sit down and see. Oh yeah, it shows up. But sit down and work on my painting at the same time. So especially growing up, I used to listen to a lot of football games on the radio in the car. My family fortunately was not like Harry and Lloyd and Dumb and Dumber, where hey, we don't need no radio. No, we did need a radio to listen to the games. So I'll be watching football and I'll be painting. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice Dumb and Dumber reference, guys. Big fan. By far the best comedy of all time. And Seth, what are your words of wisdom? What do you want to leave us with for the night?
I don't know if I have any words of wisdom, but
what are you doing this week? Anything?
What am I doing this week? I'm working.
All right,
very busy week.
Work while we're playing 40K, listening, watching football.
Yeah, you guys have fun. I'll be working, and then I'll be trying to get back into my workout routine. I screwed up my back. You'll enjoy this kicker because I'm sure you've done this. I had the weekend of the RTT and my back was a little tender afterwards, but I was like, I'm doing fine. And then Monday was my big squat day where I did like 40 squats. And I was like, I'll be fine. And then I think it was like 40 squats and like 20 good mornings. And I got through it. I was like, I feel fine. And then literally Tuesday, I was like, I can't move. Oh my God.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And so I gave myself 2 days rest and I'm feeling good now. I can move. But I was like, I overdone that a little bit. So I'm gonna, that's what I'm gonna try to get caught up on the workout
back into it slowly
without killing myself is the goal. I would like to be able to physically move. I literally couldn't finish my lunch at work on Tuesday while sitting in my chair. I had to lay on the floor in my office. My back was in such a knot. So my goal is to not do that this weekend.
All right, don't do that. Seth, well, thank you guys for listening. Seth, take us out, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline along with my fitness tips. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night, guys.
Good night.